A pair of tropical disturbances will bring some active weather back to our forecast. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi, my friends. Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. We are your home for Caribbean weather. Hey, it's great to see you for this latest video. I hope you're doing well. Coming up in this video, we'll talk about the active weather we've had for today, watching another disturbance that will be moving back into the Caribbean in the next couple of days, and one likely to develop next week that could bring some significant changes to our area. As always, Meteo Mundo, sponsored by the Lane Law Firm of Central Florida, your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys. Wind, hail, hurricane damage, flood damage of any kind. They'll walk you through that insurance claim process. It's leanonmelaw.com for more information. As always, I love to hear from the fantastic weather community. What's been happening in the area? What has the weather been like? You just want to drop a hi. I appreciate that as well. Surface analysis shows you a stalling boundary that has been able to work its way all the way through the Bahamas, stalling out over Turks and Caicos and Cuba. We're seeing a few showers and storms developing there. Our tropical wave has now pushed deeper into Mexico. Another trough is going to be entering the picture into the Lesser Antilles coming up in the next couple of days as well. So, we've had some active weather for today. It's been more localized than anything else. Temperatures in Fahrenheit haven't been that bad in most areas, especially near that boundary in north. Some upper 70s to lower 80s for highs today in our northern areas. Some of the hotter spots, our friends in Trinidad and Tobago, right around 90 Fahrenheit as about 32 degrees Celsius. I'm going to bring on the wind gusts in miles an hour, and we'll move on from there. Let's talk about some active weather for today. Unfortunately, we've had some showers and storms develop across Jamaica for today. Now, earlier, they were in the eastern parishes, and obviously, again, we continue to hit on the fact of the cleanup, the recovery efforts that are going to be going on not only for days and for weeks, for months in the western sides of Jamaica. So we just don't need to see a lot of shower and storm opportunities there. But unfortunately for portions of Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland parishes, from the Treasure Beach, Black River areas up towards Savlamar, we had some healthy passing showers and storms for today. If there is any little saving grace, they were fairly fast moving in locations, but again, the lightning is not fantastic. Additional thunderstorms are redeveloping late on this afternoon through portions of the northeast side of the island from Port Maria to Port Antonio, and then working their way back off towards the Linstead area with a passing or isolated shower or storm over Kingston. Looking pretty good over the Cayman Islands for today. The air a little bit drier, so after the healthy thunderstorms we've had the last couple of days, things have quieted out there. Starting to see a few thunderstorms redevelop in the western sides of Cuba at the hour. And again, this boundary is kind of elongated from north to south. If I show you guys the water vapor imagery here, near that boundary, all of that green is the more moisture-laden air. So even though temperatures are a little bit cooler right now in the Bahamas, we've had a couple of, passing showers, but still mainly dry, many dry hours and locations. This is what it looks like on the the high-res visible satellite imagery here. And again, just some fair weather clouds. Now you notice that clouds are actually moving in different directions. So you have low-level winds out of the east, mid-level winds out of the west, and the combination of that again has spread some cloud coverage and a passing shower here or there. Live look outside to Long Island. This is going to be the White House area there in the Bahamas, looking back off towards the west. You can see again some cloud coverage in the distance, but overhead skies are nice and blue. As you guys know, we have our live cameras here at Meteo Mundo to really help tell the weather story in your area. There's the breeze and a bit of the extra cloud coverage today over Governor's Harbor in central Eleuthera late on this Wednesday afternoon. And again, that could lead to a sprinkle here or there, but still not expecting there to be a lot of rain. The lift in the atmosphere, the moisture overall is still relatively limited. Where we're still seeing a little bit better chance for some showers and storms is going to be in our northern and western areas. So look for some of that activity today, Cancun, Cozumel. And again, when I bring on the temperatures, that has dropped temperatures here in these areas back into the upper 70s. Starting to see a few thunderstorms in the Merida area, so their temperatures went from the upper 80s Fahrenheit back to the mid 70s here as those thunderstorms have moved through. Still somewhat more localized than anything else, but that opportunity is going to be there at least for the next day on over towards Tulum and even the northern sides of our friends in Belize, Dandrija area, San Ignacio, Utila, Roatan, Guanaja. There's the opportunity, but we're going to be drying out a little bit over the next couple of days as well. Let's swing on over towards our friends in Hispaniola. Again, an area, Haiti, that needs to see no additional rain anytime soon. It's been a couple of passing showers as that weak trough has moved across the area. But overall, again, looking pretty good here. Looking pretty nice in Puerto Rico, in the U.S. and British Virgin Islands on this Wednesday. Visible satellite imagery shows you some low-level cloud coverage. But again, it's a quick passing trough. There's not a ton of lift in the atmosphere, so we're just not seeing widespread showers and storms. I've noted a couple of showers from the Ulti Alto area towards Bayaguez today, San Sebastian, but it's, again, many dry hours and locations. Same situation here over the Virgin Islands as well. Now, earlier this morning, Isabel sent in the supermoon setting early on this Wednesday morning here. Live look outside from Christiansted, St. Croix. Not a live look, sorry. The picture from Christiansted, St. Croix a little bit earlier. Appreciate Isabel sending that shot in, helping to tell the weather story in her area. All right, back over to the weather computer again. Couple of passing showers noted in portions of the Lesser Antilles for today. But again, overall, not a bad afternoon. Temperatures have been quite lovely. And again, a lot of sunshine overall. Few showers, Guadeloupe, Dominica, maybe down towards Martinique, but nothing outrageous, nothing that's going to put a big kink in your outdoor plans as we move through the remainder of the afternoon hours. Now again, moisture is on the doorstep here, and we are going to be talking about elevating the rain chances in these areas in short order. But what you get when you get that sunshine, even a little bit of haze in the atmosphere, is you get these glorious sunsets. Hey, if nothing else, we get to show you this shot. Live look outside to Corrent, St. Lucia. Of course, we're looking off towards the west with sunset. I understand why all you guys want to live in these areas when we get these picture perfect days. That is a beautiful shot. All right, back over to the weather computer again. Few thunderstorms out there over Trinidad and Tobago. This is an area where a little bit more moisture. So Puerto, Spain south, Antilles, again, opportunity for a couple of isolated showers and storms. Now, the moisture overall is still limited. The rain chance isn't exceptionally high, but down the road, look at this big elongated trough that is going to want to slip into the area. And although it's not likely to develop into anything tropically, meaning a depression or a storm, this is still a large area of rich tropical moisture. So get on board for some heavier rain chances moving back into the Eastern Caribbean starting in the next couple of days. Can't rule out an isolated shower or rumble of thunder in the ABC Islands. We had a little bit of activity late last night, early this morning. It can't rule that out again tonight and early on our Thursday, but not a lot. And again, you get another gorgeous sunset here. Eagle Beach area, Oranjestad. Goodness gracious, is that absolutely gorgeous outside. How about a thumbs up for those pictures, our live video, our live cameras here at Meteo Mundo. Friends, I do appreciate you guys taking a quick second liking this video. Again, it really helps to support the channel. If you haven't subscribed, come join this fantastic weather community. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for sharing this with your family and friends. Thanks for those who are members of the channel as well, and those who have found other ways to support the channel as we continue to grow this fantastic weather community. Okay, now we're going to get into what's going to be happening over the next couple of days. I've got your island by island rainfall forecast, and we're going to move into the tropics. Look, it is still hurricane season, and there is still an area I need to talk about. Believe it or not, it is not going to be in the main development region of the Atlantic Basin. This is a lot of elongated moisture that I'll continue to monitor, but this likely is just to bring fresher trade winds, better opportunity for some showers and some heavier rain to the Eastern Caribbean starting Friday and especially over the weekend. We will see our first tropical wave and disturbance move off towards the west. This trough and elongated boundary will dissipate, and then rain chances will begin to come back up in these areas as we get into early next week, but not until then. So let's bring up our model here. I'm going to set the time frame where I want to just over the next couple of days. Then we're going to look at the extended forecast. So I'll start back in our eastern zones. Once again, if you live in places like Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, rain chances will start to go up late Friday and into Saturday. A good slug of tropical moisture coming into this area. Now, these should be fast-moving showers. They could come along with some gusty winds. We'll talk about the potential impacts coming up in subsequent videos. And again, not expecting this to organize into anything tropically, but there will be some appreciable impacts to want to be outdoors and for the boaters outside, because we're going to see some, again, increased winds with this, some locally heavy rainfall. We could see some areas of flood advisories or flash flood advisories or warnings associated with this. I think it's going to be some robust tropical moisture moving in. And again, the timing of this begins to move in late Friday and through at least the first half of the weekend. That will then slide over towards Nueva Esparta, and eventually some of this moisture will try and get back towards the ABC Islands as well. Now, in the short term, the rain chances will be a little bit better the farther north that you go. So Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Bart's, St. Kitts and Nevis, Saba, St. Eustatius, Barbuda, Antigua, Montserrat, those areas will have higher rain chances, Thursday, Friday, and then stay in the moderate category on Saturday with the thickest, richest tropical moisture a little bit farther south in the island chain. So in general, the farther south that you go, the heavier opportunity for the rain chances will be, higher rain chances, higher rain totals. Still some passing showers, though, likely across the Virgin Islands, including Anegada and Virgin Gorda, and Jost Van Dyke and Tortola, St. Croix and St. Thomas and St. John, and Vieques and Culebra and Puerto Rico itself. Just nothing too concentrated here. A little bit drier early. A little bit better rain chance Saturday and into Sunday. Thankfully, not a huge rain chance over the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Again, these areas so desperate for some drier air in most locations with the flash flooding and the unfortunate loss of life that we saw from Hurricane Melissa. We need to continue to dry out here. I expect there to be some scattered showers, but nothing outrageously high, and hopefully rainfall totals won't be very prominent as well. The good news for Jamaica is it's scattered showers and a rumble of thunder the next couple of days. Nothing very concentrated. I think what you saw today is going to be the worst case scenario over the next couple of days, meaning that the coverage of the rain across the island should be even lower, more in the 30% category. Now, I can't rule out some heavier downpours from time to time, and that could be island-wide. We might start off with some storms in the eastern side of the island that progress off towards the west in the latter half of the afternoon, but hopefully not a lot in the way of coverage here. Not expecting a lot of rain across the Bahamas over the next couple of days as our boundary begins to fizzle out. So again, a few showers and storms. Some of this activity is likely to kick east as the boundary moves along and a mid-level low tries to develop. So guess what? Bermuda gets back into some rain chances and some gustier winds into Friday and Saturday as well. And again, this boundary just kind of begins to fade, so rain chances come down, even to the western sides of Cuba and most of Quintana Roo, and even the northern sides of Central America should see, not a lot of rain. Our monsoon trough is still active in Panama and Costa Rica, so heavier rain will continue there. And this is an area to talk about for next week, and we'll do that in just a second. So this is what it looks like island by island for you guys. Again, limited opportunities, just a slight nudge higher in the northwest Bahamas tomorrow, then overall looking pretty good for Friday and Saturday. Same thing for Turks and Caicos. Cuba's rain chance tomorrow, 50% chance, same thing on Friday, 40 on Saturday. Cayman Islands will see more isolated showers and a rumble of thunder than anything else. And again, the rain chances in Belize City won't be exceptionally high through the weekend as well. Cancun, Cozumel, 40% chance tomorrow, but it fades Friday and Saturday. 40 tomorrow in Jamaica, then just 30 on Friday, Saturday. So again, hopefully not a lot of heavier rain in the areas that really don't need to see it. Still a lot of tarps going off on roofs and roofs that are completely unrepairable. So we just don't need a lot of additional rain to cause problems in any flooding whatsoever on the western side of the island. Dominican Republic, Haiti, 40% chance for showers the next couple of days, but again, nothing crazy elevated. A little bit lower in Puerto Rico, 40% chance for the Virgin Islands Thursday and Friday. There's Bermuda's rain chances building through Saturday. Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, highest rain chance tomorrow, fading a bit Friday and Saturday. Not a bad rain chance on the eastern side of these areas like Antigua and Barbuda, Thursday, Saturday, 60% chance. Overall, for a place like Montserrat and Guadeloupe, decent tomorrow, coming down a bit on Friday, and then building again on Saturday. Lower rain chances, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia and SVG through Friday, but again, late Friday and especially on Saturday, here comes that tropical wave. Here comes the increasing rain chance. Look at what I've done in Barbados, just 20 tomorrow, but up to 70 on Saturday. And again, in these areas, locally heavy downpours are certainly possible. I'll be watching that. Grenada's rain chances build to 60% chance on Saturday. Same thing for Trinidad and Tobago, Suriname and Guyana with high rain chances for the weekend ahead as well. Scattered rain in Nueva Esparta. In the ABC Islands, we'll see a couple of showers the next few afternoons. All right, wave heights and directions again. This disturbance should bring some quick building waves, also some fresh trade winds as well. Now what you see, and we'll look at it again here in just a second, in the northwest areas, that is a very powerful cold front coming off of the United States East Coast through the Gulf and the Western Atlantic Basin. This will actually push in north winds, could elevate sea conditions here, and we'll see just how far south that disturbance can go, assuming that front, and how much of a northeast wind it could pull, because that will likely do a couple of things. First of all, how far south that boundary gets will determine where the heaviest rainfall is likely to go as it stalls out. But also in the southwest Caribbean, as we start to see the monsoon trough try and lift to the north and we get some broad development in the western Caribbean, likely next week, this is an area that could see some excessive rainfall and it lifts north. So portions of Nicaragua and Honduras and Guatemala and Belize starting early next week could be in store for some very locally heavy downpours. Southeast Bahamas could see some heavier rain as well. And there's the impacts of that disturbance with, again, several inches of rain likely for the Windward Islands and portions of the southern side of the Lesser Antilles overall. A little bit less rain the farther north that you go through most of the Greater Antilles, but still there'll be some scattered showers. Now look, hurricane season rolls through November 30th. We know that. It's still just a date on the calendar, guys. That's all it is. But my concern in the Western Caribbean for early next week is twofold. First of all, sea surface temperatures are still outrageously warm this time of the year in the Western Caribbean, or this year it's outrageously warm for November. Now, obviously the fronts coming in are going to have some impacts on that. So we could start to see the far northwest sides of the Caribbean get a little bit cooler in subsequent days as these cold fronts progress deeper into the northwest Caribbean. But the southwest Caribbean is still shielded from that and should still have sea surface temperatures of 29, 30, even 31 degrees Celsius as we move into next week. So here's what it looks like on the GFS deterministic model. We'll look at the ensembles of both the GFS and the European as well. First of all, we'll start off with the reflectivity. Again, we're now getting to about a full week's time of relatively consistent run-to-run with the GFS of some broad development tropically in the Western Caribbean. Now, again, how this next cold front stalling out plays into this, whether this becomes a truly tropical system or whether this is just a huge area of showers and some wind, is yet to be seen. Certainly as we get deeper into November, we get into more marginal development potential here, but this is the area that it would do it. Again, the monsoon trough is trying to lift north this time of the year. It's interacting with this next boundary coming in, and you can clearly see in the GFS as we go into early next week just how widespread the showers and storms are going to be. I mean, just look how wet the western half of our area could be. And if you notice near the Nicaragua, Honduras coastline, you get a relatively significant spin. Now, one thing that the model is doing, the GFS is doing compared to yesterday, is it's hugging that potential surface low very close to the coastline. So what would that do? Well, that could limit the potential development in this area if the core low-level center doesn't get offshore. Now, the first thing you'll notice is there's going to be some really fresh winds picking up. First, the easterly trades to the Caribbean are going to get stronger. Then you got that cold front coming in, bringing in a push of northerly winds. So you're going to talk about some elevated sea conditions through a lot of the Caribbean, Gulf, and even the Western Atlantic Basin. Here it comes. Then as far as any potential tropical development, again, over these last couple of frames, this is where it's trying to develop it, and you'll just see that that spin stays very near the coast. This is a little bit closer to the coast solution compared to yesterday. Now again, this is the main run of the GFS. We call that deterministic. This is an ensemble model product though, again, so it shows 50 different members of the same model running with slightly different initial conditions, which is why you have different members showing you different, potentials down the road. Still having a little bit here, which is interesting, but you can see that as we get towards mid and late next week, we have some of the ensemble members of the GFS trying to show some development. Now, the good news is a little bit weaker than what it was. This would certainly be a tropical storm at worst. Not all the members are obviously painting this on, and it's a little bit closer to the coast, so that could also limit the potential for development. That being said, what's the flip side of it? Heavy rain spreading north through the central sides of Central America, into the northern sides of Central America, into Quintana Roo, and probably into Cuba, the Cayman Islands, and Jamaica as well. This could be a big area of moisture. European model, which has been doing the old flippity flop here, still has some potential development on the ensemble members beginning in the Southwest Caribbean, but not until about a week from now, and then just slowly drifting north. The interesting thing is by next Saturday, which is 10 days out, so we're not going crazy in time, the European model also has about the same areas as the GFS. One potential development area just off the coastline of Belize, one more off the coastline of Nicaragua, but both close to the Central American coastlines, and even has, again, some weak development here south side of Bermuda. We'll monitor the situation for you guys very closely. Again, I'm not extremely concerned at this point in time. I'll let you guys know on a daily basis. But what we could see is a lot of rain developing and some really active weather in the Western Caribbean through most of next week. Friends, I appreciate you guys. You can follow us across all of our social media platforms. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook. As always, you want to send me a picture or video. Simplest way, myMediaMundo@gmail.com. You got a question? Leave it in the comment section below. I'm happy to answer that for you guys. And please remember that Media Mundo is sponsored by the Lean Law Firm of Central Florida, your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys. They cover the entire state, and they offer free consultation and policy reviews, so you got nothing to lose. You get property damage of any kind. If you've been in an auto accident, they can help you out with that as well. That's the website, leanomnilaw.com, for more information. Friends, I do appreciate taking part of your day, spending it with me. If you got something out of this video, thanks for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you tomorrow with the latest update right here at Media Mundo.